in the basement? You know the answer. Yeah, that's right, no exit. Now, if you ever wanted to, say in your personal houses, or you find a house for specific needs, they do sell aftermarket windows that can be cut. They'll saw cut the walls, and you can install a window, and you have to have 3-foot clearance behind the window, 8 inches to either side of it. You can't have a grate on top that locks, and then you have to have, I believe it's 42 or 45 inches. It can't exceed the height to the movable glass area above the floor, and the window's got to be 5.7 movable square foot of glass area. They do have firms that specialize in installing those. So if you ever felt the need that you wanted to add something in to increase the value of a house in certain circumstances, that's something to consider. So just keep that little trick in mind. Look up once in a while, you got a little bit of repair right here. This is how we got heat into this place. Are you impressed with that? So the heat ran up here to the front bedroom. They just intercepted a little bit for down here. So we took our drill out, mashed in a couple holes, and somehow gummed up a hole into that thing. Good news here, copper coming in, and copper distribution through the houses and our gas meter. So having that copper is nice, but we also have to be careful too. Hopefully no one grabs it. By the way, we have 2 amps of current flowing through this cable, and we only have a couple lights on in this house. So we may have a bad ground at the panel or at the electric meter there. 2, it's not bad. 6, I start getting concerned with. What's that?
Can I see that?
Sure. Yeah. You know, I use that when I'm charging in a air conditioning system to look at how the motor's laboring for the charge relationships. You can use it when you're doing all sorts of stuff with motors or doing a electrical study on a place to see how much current draws. It's something that you wouldn't be expected to have. But I think this is part of a conscientious home inspection. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little more detailed there, but what the heck. By the way, in the living space in here, see how we have the carpet in the front portion of the basement here? Chances are good we probably have carpeted over one of the floor drains. So keep that in mind. I like to try to avoid carpeting over floor drains. If both of them are carpeted over and we ever have water leaking into the basement, then we could have a pond develop in the basement. So keep that in mind. But again, as I said, other than the cigarettes and casual living conditions, that it doesn't appear to be too bad down here. I don't smell pets, don't smell water, and looking at the walls, they're exposed and they're concrete, so I'm pleased with that.
Would, being that they use drywall and probably wood to stud this stuff in, do you think over time that it's just a bad idea because drywall more or less is going to collect moisture?
Well, I'll tell you what.
Even though the basement is kind of dry.
Yeah. Quite frankly, from what I see around here, now I'll look on the drywall on the other side and we'll look for a date. We'll go back into the laundry area and I'll show you the blueprinting that we'll look for on drywall. Maybe we can get a date, and if there's no issue of water wicking up the bottom and it's 10 years old, then I would say that's a pretty good history for me. I don't like covering up the exterior walls for the simple reason that we could hide a crack with moisture infiltration there. But on the interior of it, I really don't have an issue. Plus, if there ever is an issue, this is almost something in this house here. This almost looks like you're encouraging people to live in the basement. I would probably just remove all the interior walls here. Paint the basement contiguously and make it look nice and open. Scrape up, this tile here, by the way, is 12 by 12, so it's not likely to have asbestos in it. 9 by 9s are likely to have asbestos in it, so be careful about that, okay? You don't want to breathe the asbestos. But quite frankly, I think the basement that's open without all being subdivided up is going to be more attractive to the individual purchaser. All right, I'll tell you what, let's go back to that section. We'll look for the code on the drywall. Maybe we can come up with something.